Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me? Okay. All right. I think I'm on. Let me mute this really quick. Okay. All right. Just give it a couple minutes, like a minute or so, for everyone to jump in. How is everyone doing this morning? All right. Hey, Nim, you're in the house. Anne Marie, Dave. All right. All my OGs, right, from the community. I'll be lucky if I get 10 people on the stream for now. Wow, what a pretty crazy morning already. Let's see here. Katie, are you gonna join? Not sure. We'll give Katie a minute here to jump on if she is planning on jumping on. Can I get a thumbs up in the chat or in comment if the volume is good? Video's good. I'm gonna jump over and show you the display really quick here for the app and let me know if you can see that clearly as well. Good. I had a very productive weekend, Emery. I had to get a lot of things done because I'm going to be in Berlin for a week to cover IFA, which is the European version of CES, if you will, Consumer Electronic Report. And so there's a lot of things I need to get done before I go. Yard work, house, chores, things like that, and making sure I get the team in order for this next week because I don't know how much I'm going to be able to jump on. Okay, so let's jump into some of the tickers that I got messaged on. Um, I think Katie's not on yet, but I'll just wait and see if she's coming on. John, I wanted to talk about VIRI, VIRI. ICU, David wanted to talk about that. Snoop Cause, MCRB. How does that, hey, Snoop Cause, how does that map over to YouTube? Which one are you on YouTube? I can't really see or tell right now. But anyways, all right, let's jump in and talk about, since you're in already, let's talk about, let's see, David, you want to talk about ICU? Is that right? ICU. Okay, here's ICU. Our chart. Ooh, yeah, this is not good. As you can see here, it's extremely bearish. Volume being traded is really low. It's like 185,000 shares a day. That's You want to typically steer clear of stock that doesn't trade high in volume. Historically, I mean, the average volume over the last 10 days or so is like 367,000 shares a day. That's not a lot for average. Um, I'm looking at the day chart here. This consolidation period was not good in terms of how long it took and where the price action took place. So there was a massive drop here for whatever reason. I don't know. It gapped down quite hard. Um, Came down, stabilized at about 77% at about 45 cents. And then it sat here for, oh my gosh, let's see, from this point, it sat here for 47 trading days. That's a long time to be consolidating. And then if if I was looking or observing ICU, and as soon as I saw, it depends on where you bought in from, right? I mean, if you bought in up here at $1.91 and it had this massive drawdown, you're at basically from, let's say you took here and you saw this 3 bar breakdown at 78%. You're like, all right, I'm 80% in the hole. Do I hold or do I get out? I mean, That's trade management. That's something that you would have to consider. So anytime I see a 3-bar breakdown, that tells me that there's more drawdown to come, especially when, let me backtrack a little bit. For people who aren't aware, who aren't in my community, know that, know my setup. Okay, where is the 200? Okay, so the 200 SMA is always going to be this dotted line, white dotted line right here. 200 SMA. That moving average is always on my chart. Next up, the blue line is always the 50 SMA. Okay, that's the second moving average. Third is a 20, which is the white line. Fourth is the 8 EMA, green line, and then the 3 EMA is the yellow line. For me personally, having traded stocks over the last 3 years, 4 years, I've narrowed down these moving averages to be extremely accurate, and they work well for how ITA and for how I see price relative to movements in relation to these moving averages. So you'll see patterns as I go through my chart, how price at a higher level will respect the 3 and the 8, which is the yellow and the green line respectively. And then every drop or every increase, they will come down and touch the 20 SMA at some point. Rarely will they ever not do that. And I'll show you cases where there are extreme growth and it shrinks down to it will contract to where price will touch these moving averages, even if it's 2 years later. And I'll demonstrate that later. But back to ICU now that we've got the intro out of the way. If you look here, price is respecting the 3 EMA at a 1-day chart. That tells me that there's not a reversal coming anytime soon unless there is a force in the market that affects ICU in a positive way. Because if there isn't going to be anything that's going to positively change ICU, then it's going to continue in the direction that it's moving in right now. And as of right now, the Bulls have no chance of regaining control, because for me, in order for the Bulls to take control would be something like this, right? It needs to come down and come up above the 8 EMA. That is the first sign of some sort of reversal, some sort of a bullish movement. Right now, there is absolutely zero bullish movement. For me, it's not even worth, unless you're scalping or day trading, it's not even worth looking at ICU right now. Now, that being said, I just brought up the 4-hour chart here. Remember how I was just explaining to you how price is moving along with the 3 EMA? It needs to pop up above the 8 EMA to show signs of bullish activities. Yeah, you see that right here, right? I mean, it gapped up here the last 4-hour trading, but you need to also look at the volume. Yeah, I mean, price moved above the 8 EMA, but at 300 shares in 4 hours, if you look up here, 300 shares volume in 4 hours, that, I mean, and the stock is trading at 25 cents. That to me is not bullish. Okay, so I don't have any more to say about ICU other than the fact that it's still extremely bearish. Okay, moving on. The next chart we want to look at is everyone in? Jana? Let's see. Yeah, okay, all right. Everyone's in that needs to see VIRI. Let me take a deep breath on VIRI. All right, we're in the same spot with VIRI. I'm gonna step back to the hour chart and kind of show you for me, a very universal pattern. M's and W, okay? If you see an M and the M ends at a C point, that means that it's there's almost an opportunity for bulls to step in to take advantage of a reversal or a reaction of some sort on the upside. If you see a W and the C point ends up here at a higher level of where the price started, that is an opportunity for bears to start looking at taking a short position. There is an opportunity for bears at the top of the W and bulls to take the opportunity to take a long position at the bottom of the letter M. So where are we at with VIRI? Let's take a step back and look at VIRI. VIRI started pumping around January 12 or 23, right? And then it created wave one up on 3-6, dropped down to wave two from 1 to 2 on March 23rd. We've all been in this trade. We know, we've seen how the market has traded with VIRI. And I've updated everyone along the way, so this should not be a shock to you how VIRI has moved. And then wave 2 to 3, and I've brought this up many times, that wave 2 to 3 is always going to be your most profitable wave. In this case, if you had bought in at let's see, 26 cents back in March 23rd, and you held, you would have net 669.49% gain. That is a heck of a gain. If you played that, good for you. Now the question is, what happens after 3? 3 will retrace back down to 4, and as you can see here, on a larger time scale, it broke straight through all the moving averages down to below the 50, which is this blue line. And then it retraced up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 is the termination of that bull run. 1 to 5, bull. 5 to C, bearish. Okay, if you don't remember anything else, that is the market structure, essentially. Okay, so once it terminated at the 4 to 5 wave, we all remember this. This was not too long ago when, and I warned everyone that this was going to happen. 5 to A, and you've seen this with SONN, you've seen this with GMZP, you've seen this with all the retail pump play, where at the peak of wave 4 to 5, there's a gut-wrenching drop. In this case, it was only 67% versus 667% growth. But still, had you bought in when it was in the dollar range, $1.30 range, or even at 90 cents, you know, it still hurts when the price drops nearly 70%. And that's what happened here. So at this point, as it was dropping, remember the three red bar retracement. This is bad, right? I mean, I've brought this up many times before. Once price got near the 200 SMA, 200 moving average, I bet that the executives were going, whoa, wait, we cannot let our price, our stock price drop below the 200 SMA, because once price drops below the 200-day moving average on the day chart, the algorithm flips over from being bearish, I'm sorry, being bullish to bearish. And it's just, they're just going to start shorting you. Like, I mean, it's just, the thesis just swap between being bullish to bearish, and they're just going to start shorting your stock down. So luckily, executives said, hey, we're going to put a hold on the offering, and then they came in and started buying up shares. And that's what happened here. They tried to stop the inevitable, which in my opinion, again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so take this for entertainment and education purposes only. Price peaked out at point A to B, and we know there's one more retracement leg coming. That's another 73%. Oh, we're looking at 35 cents for retracement. And guess what? That was where price started back here between wave 0 to 1, right? How do I know this? Because this is the cycle of life for trading stocks. Case in point, AMC. Everyone that's in AMC is hurting right now because of this very reason. Price started back here at 1090 to nearly 800 days later. Is it 800? 700 days later. Price dropped to a low of $10.90 this morning, almost all-time low. If you go through the cycles on AMC, it's the same cycle, 5 up and 3 down, right? Beginning back in January 5th of 21, and today is what is today? August 28th. Okay, back to VIRI really quick, and we'll wrap up VIRI. So what's going to happen with VIRI next? In my opinion, I believe that VIRI will pierce through the 200-day moving average, unless there's a factor that will push the price to a higher. I mean, hypothetically speaking, if FDA came in at, let's say, $1.04, it will knock VIRI off course. And if it's sustainable news, there will be a spike, and VIRI will trade in a different trend, just like Nvidia, right? There are so many times where VIRI should have retraced, and it didn't. And even when it did retrace, it popped right back up, right here, right? So this is on the day chart for VIRI. Had a bullish bat pattern. Once it completed, had a reaction, dropped down, and then it continued on its way up. But at some point, a stock cannot continue to go up forever. Even as strong as a stock as Nvidia, it retraced at the top here by 10%. I mean, for a stock that's trading 72 million shares a day, that is a lot of volume and a lot of liquidity going through the market. So, so for a tiny little stock such as VIRI trading at a buck 18, this trend is going to happen, at least in my opinion. So there's no way around it. At least we'll see a bounce off of 82 cents. Okay. In the short run, I want to look at the hour chart and see what happens for anyone that's swinging or scalping this. Again, volume is extremely low. I mean, in the last hour of trading, there's only $3,000 shares. Remember what I said about when there's a change in volume, whether price is going to spike up again or price is going to drop down. So when there's a decrease in volume, there is a change coming to the stock. If we go back and look at ICU here, day chart, is it ICU? Yeah, let's look at ICU real quick. ICU consolidated forever along this path, right, with very little volume, and then it dropped. Very volume dropped quite a bit along the way. The bigger time frame is telling me that right now it is still trading bullish, but bearish in regard that it's below the 20-day moving average. So if volume is dying and price is below my 8 EMA telling me that, yes, I'm expecting at least 2 more drawdowns coming. And when the second and third candle closes red, that is my confirmation that this is happening. This trajectory is happening. Okay. Back to the one hour. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's very bearish. Price is below the 200 on the 1 hour. 30 minutes. again, price is trading low volume under the 200. 2 hours, same. 3 hours. It's everything is pointing to VIRI being extremely bearish. Someone else reading a TA might tell you differently, but in my experience, in my reading, thousands and thousands of chart tells me that B to C retracement is coming. And this is a 3-4 retracement on the 3-hour chart. If you use 3-hour chart, this is what one would expect. At least a 3-4 retracement of 74%. It's consistent from chart to chart. The percentage doesn't change from chart to chart. Okay, all right, VIRI's done. Unless there's any questions, I'm going to move on to, what was the next one? MCRB? I believe it was MCRB, right? MCRB. Did we talk about MCRB yet? I can't remember. Someone give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, let's talk about MCRB then. Whoa, what happened here? Did we talk about MCRB? I've drawn this out already. Oh, okay. Anyways, oh, you know what? I may have already reviewed this previously. Okay. Again, leg 1 up here, 2 down, 3 up, hit the top of this triangle and got rejected. So think of this as like a trend line, okay? Think of the top of this triangle being a short-term trend line, or in this case, kind of a long-term trend line. Got rejected at $7.47, came back down using the 200-day as a moving average as a support, and then it bounced between 4 to 5. Remember, 2 and 3 is profitable, 4 and 5 is also profitable. So at leg 5, if you roll up from here and you're scalping or swinging, that's a 65%. That's a 65% profit from that swing play alone. So if you understand the way the market structure works, you gotta start thinking, you know what? I see leg 4 to 5 forming. At some point, should I take profit or do I risk having this drawdown, which it did. It came down 50%. That's a big drop. That's a big drop. Let me make sure I did my math right. From here to here was 67% up, and then 49% down. And from there, it just retraced. 1 to 5 is bull, 5 to C is bearish. Okay, so now this is what you see when you see a pattern completion. 1 to 5 up and 5 to C, right? C is the termination point, at least for the market, as it concerns market, as the market structure is concerned. This is the termination. So, do I buy in here at this point? I don't know yet. I don't know. I want to sit back and look, because is it going to come down even more? Just because a pattern completed doesn't mean that I should be jumping in. So now I need to look at the rest of the chart. Where's the low? Where's the all-time low? How has it been trading? What's going on with the market? So all-time low is apparently $2, right? So does that mean that it's possibly going to go down lower? Yeah, yeah. I mean, are there gaps that it's going to have to fill? How's the volume been trading? Volume's about 1 million shares, which is very respectable. Interestingly enough, there was a pattern. Here we go. There was a pattern back here. This is a bearish pattern back on June 8th of 2022. I'm gonna wrap this up because markets open up in 3 minutes, guys. So I would definitely watch MCRB if you're in it. You gotta make your decision how you want to manage it. But for me, there could be another drawdown, but then again, it's already pushing below the price target two of this bearish structure. So there could be a reversal coming possibly. Let me look at the oscillator really quick. Yeah, so it bounced into the both oversold, came up. Yeah, so in my opinion, that I think that there is, I would expect some sort of reversal coming from this point. Okay, all right. So market is opening in 2 minutes. Should we hang out and watch the market open? Who wants to see what at market open? Send me a comment or a message in our chat. If there isn't one, I am going to put up. AMC is so depressing, isn't it? Look at that. Gap down some more. It's like kicking a dog while it's down. Um, let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, there's just, yeah. I mean, it's like watching a horror movie and you're in it. Anyways, VFS is up what 22%, 21%. That's so crazy. How is that even possible? And remember, I was telling you, right? You want to watch this leg. Now, this is a 4-hour chart, not the day chart. The day chart doesn't really work in pre-market. So this is leg 2 to 3. Am I going to want to exit at leg 2 to 3 at some point? Yeah. Why? Because we know there's going to be a retracement coming. All right, David. Anything you want to watch or see when market opens? Okay. All right. Are we open? Are we live? Yes, market's open. All right. Ding ding. Thank you, Katie. Ding ding. Okay, so I like to kind of get a broad overview. Look at that. It gapped up. I mean, okay, so market closed at 68 cents and it gapped up to almost $90 this morning. Wow, I love it. Let's see what happens today. Most likely, um, I'm probably going to exit at some point up here because obviously, like 3 to 4 retracements coming. It's probably going to be really ugly. So this is most likely forming a shooting star, which is extremely bearish, telling me that the termination of this run is coming. I mean, let's look at this run here. You started down here to where the high today is 707%. Just beat me up now. Just, oh my gosh. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I'll do my best to stay safe on my travels. Um, let's see. Let's review some of the shares the trade that we talked about this morning. Okay. MCRB is up 1.27%. Volume is, let's see, the first 10 minutes, and we're not really in the 10 minutes yet, but 20,000 shares, first couple minutes, not bad. VIRI, I mean, the 5-minute chart gap down, right? So here's the 5-minute chart. It's very little volume. When there's little volume, that means that if there's little volume and there's prices starting to gap down, that is your first sign that the bears are stepping in and they're about to kick some ass. Um, what else are we talking about? Let's see, ICU. Yeah, ICU. Let's review ICU really quick. Yeah, see, price is gapping up a little bit, but again, very little volume. If you're in it, just watch it. I remember I drew this arrow here My thinking is there should be some sort of reversal. I mean, this is your bottom here. Your bottom should be about 21 cents for ICU. So watch that and then just be really careful. I mean, this is a NASDAQ company. So at some point, in order to stay compliant, there's a chance of reversal as well. Reverse split, not reversal, a reverse split or a reversal if great news comes in. So I will hang out for a little bit and see what else everyone wants to talk about. Man, VFS spiked up really quick and then it's just forming this really scary looking. Oh, doji now. You guys realize if VFS hits $120 a share, do you realize that would put it at a $500 billion market cap? At $200 a share, we're looking at like 700 billion. 220? Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, I I love it. I mean, I just when I see this a play like this coming out of nowhere, it gets my blood going because I'm pretty excited. This is, I mean, who knows? We could wake up Thursday and this is at $200 like HKD. Very, very similar play here. Okay, I got a message. X4, yeah, I have X4 on my list. It's I like it. Today is really important because with X4, it's been trying to break above the 8 EMA. You've got the 200 as a resistance, and you've got the 20 SMA breaking down. Today's really critical. Watch today and tomorrow for price to close above the 8 EMA. Okay, if you see a 3-bar breakdown below the 8 EMA, expect drawdown. But for now, I suspect it to consolidate along this range. And if price does not close below Friday's close, I'm sorry, Friday's low or opening price at $1.25, this is an inside bar formation. So once you see an inside bar formation, you want to see where it opens tomorrow. If it goes down, if price opens below the close of today's price action, then possibly we're looking at a drawdown. But if price opens above where price closed today, expect at least to hit the 200 SMA or at least test the 200 SMA on the day chart. And it could get rejected, bounce around a couple more days, and then try to break up again. Okay, hope that helps. INZY, is that on my list? Yeah, it's on my list. Volume, again, I I can't even talk about these stocks because the volume is too low, guys. You should not financial advice. I keep saying that, but it infuriates me when I see retail jumping into these just there's no volume. Why are you trading a stock that has 7,000 shares at $5 a share? You should not be in this trade. I mean, stay away from anything that doesn't have volume, okay? I mean, it's like driving an electric Lamborghini that only runs 6 miles to a charge. Why? Okay, so PDSB, I don't think that's on my chart. What is it? PDSB. All right. I think I looked at this already. Okay, so there was a pattern. Um, Not only did the bears nail price target 1 at 757 and price target 2 at 674, they totally took the price down even lower. And unfortunately, that was unfortunate, but it looks like it's doing some recovery right now. I've got a 1348 EMA cross. That's what this green cross is right here. That tells me that there's a 1348 EMA cross up, which is very bearish. I'm sorry, bullish. Price right here. I mean, if you look at this explosion, I love seeing price sit somewhere above or on the 20 and the 50 moving average. Okay. You notice once it hit this moving average, price just spiked up. This is a huge turning point. This was a great play if you caught this, right? This was a great play if you caught this. This was a 37% run up. That was a great play if you are a little bit of a risk, a more adverse risk-taking trader. You would have took this trade, cross above the 20, because you know every time a trade goes from below the 20, above the 20, comes back down. This is a classic bull play right here. Comes back down and bounces off of the 20. You know there's more good things to come. So I would look at something like this movement. Up, down, bounce off the 20, come back up, and then continue on the trend from 1 to 5 and then 5 to C. I mean, that to me is possibly the start of a new trend coming here on the day chart. Okay, hope that helps. Anything else? I know we're 8 minutes into 9 minutes into the trading day. Anything else anyone wants to see? Send me a message, post me a comment, or I'm gonna go back and look at how AMC is getting beat up. It's not bad. Oh, it's recovering a little bit. It's recovering. Look at that. Again, I mean, look at this. They just totally took advantage of everything. And then right now, we this is like it's so far away. AMC needs to get back to $2. AMC has to get back to $2 in order for there to be any hope of a recovery, which is right where the 8 SMA is at right now, right? And then we'll talk about getting back to $2.70, 71 cents. This is where price should have bounced a week ago. And then we would be able to go back and capitalize on this bullish harmonic pattern. I still believe this can happen at some point. The $4.46. And from there, if there's no more dilution, recovery can start to take place. But right now, I mean, there's hopium and then there's reality, right? I mean, AMC could consolidate in this range for 2 or 3 weeks, who knows, before it could make a move up. I mean, dog is down, so they're going to continue kicking it down, just like every other chart we've seen. Okay, wow, that sounded depressing. Let's look at something a little bit happier. Look at that, VFS. Let me tell you, when this thing tanks, it's going to hurt because it's, I mean, we're looking at something like this, and that's, who can tell me what shape this is? Head and shoulder formation. Right. Head and shoulder formation. And that is a very, very bullish formation. It's like, if you look at it, it's kind of like shorts giving us the finger. You're like, hey, let's pump this up and then just crash the stock and we'll make money on the short side. Not financial advice, just based on my observation of looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of charts. Okay, you know what? If there's nothing else, I'm probably going to call it quits. And then if there's anything else that comes up, just send me an email, tipline@gmail.com, or reach out to me on Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter, at Nguyen, Nguyen. Okay, guys. Um, one quick note: I can't stream from my mobile on Tipline account yet, so it's unfortunately I can't. I just don't have enough subscriber. I think you need like 1,000 subscriber, and I'm just like AMC. I'm like a trillion years away from even getting 1,000 subscribers. So what I'm gonna do is if anything that comes up urgently on the stock, I will either post a short or go live on my go live streaming on at my iPhone at MYIPHONE. That's my other account that I've had for like 18 years. So, if something, I mean, if you want to follow in case something breaks news wise for the stock market, I'm gonna go live there, and then I'll I'll just break the news or share the update there because I can't do it on at Tipline. Just keep in mind I'm in Germany, so my bandwidth is going to be like super limited, and unless I have Wi-Fi, and even with Wi-Fi, it's not that great. All right, guys, have a great week. Stay safe, stay green, not greedy. I'm out.